Hey guys, welcome to Get Technical. My name is Neal Hamilton. With me, as always, is producer AB. He's in a different location. He's actually in the storage room at an Olive Garden at the moment. So big shout out to one of our non-sponsors, Olive Garden. We are taking a look at some bottoms. I want to point something out for you guys. Hims got that nice...
Whoa.
That nice little... That's way too angelic for what's happening around here. Let me get this funky stuff here. Hims got that nice little bounce off that low where we found the lowest it was going to go. Looking at it now, the green line is the VWAP anchored to the month. All right, so it's on that monthly VWAP. Let's compare that to the PLTR Palantir price activity where we got way down. Let me know when you get a little down action like this, if you start looking to buy some long trade setups, going into some long trade setups. I'll tell you what right now, I really should have. I'm looking back, I really should have gone for the calls. Little lotto ticket, that's okay. Every now and again. But look where we are right now. That resistance that we're getting here on PLTR Palantir for the day is that VWAP. So we are looking for that cross above that VWAP for a breakout. But also notice how where the VWAP is right now lines up with this thing that I've outlined here with this red rectangle here. This is a supply zone where we have gotten resistance in the past. Resistance in the past, my babies. Okay, resistance in the past, my babies. So now we're just looking for some momentum to get us up above that. And once again, and then also notice support here on the bodies of these candles. Bodies. So we know our levels on Palantir. And if you don't have your levels marked up, screen cap this. If you like Palantir and you'd like a little help discovering the levels of support, resistance, and that sort of thing, go ahead and just do a little screen cap. And then you can print it out on your printer. So there you go. I'm still liking this thing. Still looks like we're in a very tradable asset. What's good about this is that this area, this little flag that we had, right here, we broke out of, and it is now support. All right, a little profit taken at this level, this resistance level that I've outlined. It is holding as support right now. So we are still in an upward trend without any clear signs of that trend breaking. So that's what we like. Yeah, long calls would have been nice. Alex, we discussed this previously. So what I was doing with Palantir and Unity was that when I would dip into the VWAP, I would just get calls for like 2 weeks out, like risky lotto tickets, whatever, in the money, slightly out of the money, and I would get returns the next day, 20-40%. And that's kind of what I was playing around my longer position, which is all based on the thesis or the general setup that this is a rounding bottom and that we're going to break out and get to a level something like, and this is nice and broad too, something like taking our lowest point, rounding bottom or head and shoulders, you can call it whatever you want. You can be as fancy as you want, which gets us, like this level right here, which I don't have set up as my price target, so I'll go. Whoop. Whoop. Template. That's our target price right there for Palantir, based on resolution. So from where we are today, you know how we do. We measure this up. 46% gain. And that's upon a nice solid breakout above 2750. So that's where I take this line, go like this. Got my cool little templates on here. Call that my entry. No, my VWAP right now is just anchored to the month. So I'll show you. So I got my VWAP. Wait, that's a different one. Ignore that blue one. I'm going to delete that actually. Get out of here. So there's VWAP right here. Anchor period month. Anchor period month on my VWAP. Guys, big day coming up this weekend. Big day coming up this weekend. Let me know in chat if you know what is happening on Saturday. Let me know if you know what's happening this Saturday. From like, I think it's starting earlier than it previously was. I think it was like 9 a.m. before. Now it's like 8:30. So I'm getting out of bed and walking 10 feet over to my computer for it. Looks like Alex knows. Tokes and trades, that'll be there too. That's right. Yes, Gary. You know what it is. I like your avatar too. That's right, Max. Smash the camp. All right. I want you guys to be there. All right.
Wait, Neal, I have a little some more info.
Do tell.
Did you know there's going to be a giveaway as well?
What kind of giveaway?
I'm glad you asked, Mr. Neal.
That's pretty cool, producer AB. I didn't know we were giving away $1,000 in Dogecoin.
Yeah, I mean that's
sweepstakes format for those who register for the event.
I know, it's incredible. Do you have the picture handy from Captain America where he's like real skinny, scrawny looking, and then he gets real buff?
When he gets the what's it called? The super soldier serum.
Yeah.
I do. Let me go to my folder. It's a couple folders deep on my directory. Let me get in there. So really, what happens when you attend? Oh no, you guys can already see it. What happens when you attend a Benzinga Bootcamp is, I know that all of you, and it's okay. This is okay. There's no shame here whatsoever. In fact, the show I would describe as shameless. We know that you're all skinny, gaunt looking, probably malnourished, pants just falling right off your pancake butt, traders that are watching this right now. We know that, right, producer AB?
Yeah, I mean 100%.
100%. You're good looking, don't get me wrong. You're great looking, and what I would say is you have a lot of potential. Like if you were to go on with the Fab Five on Queer Eye, Netflix's Queer Eye, they would look at you and they say potential written all over for you. Then Karama would sit you down. You'd probably start crying. All right. But then, so this is what we're doing. Instead of the Fab Five, we've got something better than that. We've got something much, much better for you in your current like little situation right here on the left. Is we've got some of the best real traders, experienced, no BS folks lined up to sit down and take you from absolutely zero to hero in a single day. All right. And Kindred Duke is asking, what event?
Oh my! All right, wait, hold on. I have a video for you, Kindred.
No, don't do that. So the idea is that we're gonna stick you in this chamber. This green chamber right here is the Benzinga Bootcamp tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Saturday, at like 8:30 a.m. Eastern time until like 4 p.m. Eastern time, and you're gonna come out and you're gonna have kind of puffy muscles. Sure, yeah, kind of puffy. They're not like you're not that veiny, but that's okay. This is a good starting point. bigger biceps, bigger shoulder cap thing, pecs, abs, all of that. Your neck's going to be bigger. Your face is going to fill out. You're going to look good after attending this event. So that's why you got to sign up at Benzinga Bootcamp.com. All right, that's why you got to get on over there. Sign up if you want that super soldier serum. And that's all I got to say about that. All right.
And Neal, you know who will be there is is Chris Capre, who will also be joining us in about 10, 13 minutes, because I know our techies out there, that's what I like to call our Get Technical audience, our techies, missed Chris Capre on Monday, which was in the United States celebrating Labor Day. And so Chris Capre is going to come on today instead on a Thursday.
Are you serious? BBIG is running. I just sold my calls. We're not doing promo right now.
Elbow cough.
Yeah, we got you STBC. All right, guys. So we got our big old bottoms. I wanted to go back to HIMS really quick because I just touched on it for a second. Without any fancy stuff. STBC, I'm all over the place. I do this stuff for you, man. Or friend. I do this stuff for the people. I need to go out there and test everything to make sure it's okay for you. So looking at HIMS, just looking at the levels, not getting fancy with a VWAP or anything, it does look like a good old trend reversal, which is the nature of the big fat juicy bottom. But we're not really in like Flynn until we get out above the $8.99 or about, let's just say $9, right? More of a range than anything else. We'll say $9. So if kudos to anyone that's been here from the ride from the bottom, because I know some of y'all have been. Man, everyone. Okay, fine. We'll go BBIG. I'm going to send an angry text to my broker in a moment.
What's BBIG at right now? Can't see that.
BBIG at 11. So it gained. It got to 1240 something yesterday. And it looks like it's just hitting the body resistance from yesterday, which is the open from yesterday. But there you go. Justin, best of luck to you, my friend. Best of luck. I really wish you. It looks like you've got some decent action behind you. So best of luck, my friend. So okay. Going back to HIMS, look at that. We're getting that push. Nice momentum on HIMS, but we're going to treat this like a range. This is for me. I don't do this show for anyone else except for me. This is just me doing my due diligence so I can adjust my portfolio as soon as I get off stream. Want to get out of this resistance zone. Let's look at this over the week and see if it's anything clearer. Yeah, that would be a crazy, just perfect V recovery for him. So that would be nuts. I would not be surprised if we get rejected right back down to this level, just based on what other stocks be doing, you know? So I would not be surprised if we get a bunch of profit taking at this level and then shooting us back down to something lower.
Yeah, trading grounds. It's the closet at this Olive Garden was actually the closest spot I could get to the router. So I'm trying to optimize my internet connection and Wi-Fi. They are sneaking me some breadsticks like underneath the door and some of their finest wine. Oh, meet Kevin's here.
Oh, hey, what's up? Me, Kevin. Wait, where's Gavin Newsom? I want to see.
They're running against each other.
Yeah, I want to see you guys talk.
Oh my god! Wait, did you see the Blues Clues thing? Because I think someone in the chat made a joke about Captain Cappy and the Blues Clues thing, and I didn't know like what was going on. And then I saw the video, and I was like, okay, I get it now.
What's the Blues Clues thing?
The guy like from Blues Clues like came back and like released a video, and he looks eerily like Captain Cappy. Like, someone find the video and link it in the chat.
Captain Cappy, hold on. Before we do anything, let us know in chat if you're okay with us exploring this. If you're not okay, we won't. It could be a sore subject for him.
It could be. I think it's a compliment. I mean, Blues Clues guy. He's amazing. Oh, he said, haha, my best buddy sent me that first thing this AM.
All right, so what is this? Is this some type of meme that we're about to play for our Get Technical viewers here? Man, SoFi looking good. Okay, so it resolved the W. The W has been resolved, everyone. Yeah, that has been resolved. This candle I'm not super excited about on SoFi. Nonetheless, we've got this little corrective phase here in our short-term intermediate or our short-term trend to break out of. And then there's still a gap to close. The gap remains like that to be filled. So if we were to guesstimate a breakout, that could be like 12% gains. If I were to guesstimate a breakout, like around like 15.5. No, Captain Cappy, you don't seem like you take much seriously. We have a guest today. Yes, of course. We have only the most illustrious guests on Get Technical. Oh, you want to look at Corsair, Joe? Joe, you want to look at Corsair?
He might need new streaming equipment, so he's looking at Corsair.
There we go. Okay, that's fine. We can pull it up on Amazon.com. So yeah, SoFi is one that I'm watching. I'd like to see it break out of this, but that is looking like a nice little rat snack, meaning that it found its bottom and has room to turn what has been a downtrend into a nice uptrend. And we like to get in real quick. We're the type of people that rush the stage at a concert. You know what I mean? We show up early, we rush the stage. Okay, so we're going to look at Corsair. Which this is funny because we can compare this to Logitech, which is essentially a peer of Corsair. And that stock looks, at least the last time I looked at it, looked pretty bad. So Corsair, I already drew a zone here. That we really want to get out of before we can start looking like we're in a nice upward trend. And even then, it looks like there's a lot of congestion here. And what's another tool that we can use to get an idea of what that congestion looks like? Well, none other than our volume profile.
Shout out new father, Jake W.
Dude, if people are telling him we're doing that every single time, he's going to be so tired of it at this point. Wojciech. It's not good. It's Wojciech. You know?
Wait.
It's like it's fantastic. You know, it's like, it's not only good, I'd say it's Wojciech.
Is that like an old Ovaltine commercial or something?
Pretty much. Shout out Ovaltine. Guys, let us know in the chat. Are you a Nesquik drinker or are you an Ovaltine kid? Let us know in chat. 1 for Nesquik, 2 for Ovaltine kids. We'll see what we're really dealing with here. 1 for Nesquik, 2 for Ovaltine. Volume profile. Look at all these. Yes, it is the best. Ben, shame on you. Mo, what's up? Jerry, it explains a lot. Ack, I understand now why you are the way you are. All right, Joe, you're all right. But it seems like, Joe, you put pretty much anything in your body. Max, yeah, 2 malt all the way. There we go. Ovaltine kids, roll up. Look at all of. Jesus, I bet you guys like Pepsi more than Coke too.
Jeez.
STBC. Okay, yeah. Apparently, someone's mom must have splurged. No one's giving me Yahoo. Max Davis. You know what? Get out of here. Great value chocolate syrup.
That's good.
RC Cola. Whoa, you're insane, Justin. You're insane. So I, we're looking at Corsair. Just looking at the price pattern. Boom. We got a little bull flag. Nice little bull flag there. But just know. Yeah, so we've got this congestion area, which is where we're caught right now, lined up with the volume profile. And actually, the sort of point of control on this shelf is exactly where resistance is right now. And then we'll probably hit resistance. Yes. This would be, if you're scaling in and out of your trades, this is a good target right here. $31.95, $32. Is going to be the next level of resistance. In all likelihood, if we break out of this zone here in the blue square. It's all about Nesquik in the UK. Okay. Weird. Yeah, Mexican Coke is the best. That's for sure. I'm a diet drinker though. Sheesh. Sheesh. Well, where BLDE is, it's just about previous resistance. That's a nice looking situation, though, I gotta say. Why the spike? It's an odd thing. Blade Air Mobility, what do they do? Transportation Airlines. Is this the, like, what is this? This is a nice gap up. Tis. All right, so let's do the thing on it. So we got a double bottom here coming out of a steep downward trend. Let's get our ruler tool. Go to the lowest point, measure that up to the meat of the trading, which I'm going to put at these resistance levels. And that gets us, ooh, look where that gets us. Right here. For BLDE on the weekly. Gonna want to see a breakout above the zone. This is our resistance right here. From here to its target price, another 50% to go. Dang. Nice looking double right there. Nice. Oh, is this a helicopter thing? Ah, wildfires. Okay. John Moore with the story. All right. It's time to bring on one of our most illustrious guests, Mr. Chris Capre.
What is up, Zinger Nation? How are we doing?
We are well. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I appreciate the word illustrious.
Yeah, you're welcome for that. You're going to be doing something with us on Saturday, right?
I am. I'm going to be teaching tips, methods, and strategies to trade long-term and invest long-term in stocks. And so that's something that we've been really moving into pretty aggressively lately and building a long-term portfolio that our members can follow. And so we're going to teach you some of the methods on how to do that and why you should do it. As I'm not saying that this should be your only game in town. I'm saying it should just be one of the games in town you play when it comes to the financial markets. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that.
All right. So producer AB, drop a link in the chat so these guys can get over there. And remember, you are really skinny right now. You know, you guys need the super soldier serum. I'm not sharing my screen. Let me do that really quick. You guys are a Captain America on the left. You know it. All right. We all know it. All right. And so what you want to do is go to the Benzinga Bootcamp, register, and get into the super soldier serum container. Then come out all puffy and muscular. And that's what you'll do if you sit down for a session with none other than Chris Capre at the Benzinga Bootcamp, benzingabootcamp.com. Learn to trade in one day. Link is in the chat. All right, Chris, what do you got for us today?
Okay, let me do a share screen here and give me a second. Let's see. And let's go with, there we go. That's the right screen. All right. I'm looking at SPYs right now on a short-term play. We'll take a look at SPYs, Lulu, and Novavax. So SPYs has been kind of in this positive gamma environment, very low volatility, tight contraction of calls around the current strike. So we haven't really seen a whole lot of action out of SPYs lately. And the interesting thing on SPYs is that I think there's both a short-term play and a very different, couple week, 2 week, 3 week out play. So short traded volatility on SPYs right now is very low, but yet 1 month out implied volatility is actually higher. And generally, when I look at that, I see, okay, people are not worried about tomorrow, but they are worried about moves in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks kind of thing. They are expecting an expansion of volatility. And we have a host of events coming up that could kick in this volatility into SPYs. We have VIX OPEX on the 15th. We have September 17th OPEX, which is kind of significant because SPX has over 20% of the options rolling off. Anytime you have 20+% of the options rolling off, that changes the order flow architecture and the options that are on the board and what comes off the board, and that takes away fuel and support and liquidity from the market. So it increases volatility. But then you have FOMC, the following, I think it's 22nd. So you have these events kind of lined up, and then when you look at the option positioning from traders, they're saying, we're not really worried about today, we're not really worried about Friday. We are worried about an increase in volatility 2, 3, 4 weeks out. And so on a short-term basis, I feel like SPY is getting close to the intraday bottom. I think maybe another 50 cents. And I think if we get here and we start to see transitions, we saw a big volume spike just in the last 15 minutes as we got towards this kind of 449.5 area, which I told my members today, hey, let's watch 449.5 down to 449 as potential intraday bottoms for SPY. We're seeing a big volume spike. And I'm suspecting that that is a combination of exhaustion selling plus some dealers coming in to hedge positions. I think if we see a transmission or transitions on the 1 minute and 5 minute, then we could have an ITD bottom, an intraday bottom in SPYs. And I may look to take the long calls on that right now. If we clear this low right over here, you can clock in right about 448.85. If we clear that strongly, then I think there's going to be a big increase in volatility in SPYs, and we could start to see some further unwinding ahead of the weekend. So that's kind of what I'm looking at a short-term basis. On a medium-term basis, if I am right that volatility could pick up over the next few weeks, well, volatility is really low. IV is really low on the September 17th SPYs. So let me pull that up real quick. And when I look at September 17th expiry, which is the monthly OPEX, for the at-the-money 449, 450, I'm seeing an IV of 11%. Very, very low. It was 9.5% earlier today. So it's just picked up as it's dropped the last 1.5. But that's still pretty low. So when I look at that, this might be a potential long straddle play. If volatility is going to kick up, long straddle. I would probably do the 30th of September or 29th of September expiry. So this way I wouldn't lose too much theta if it takes a weekend or early next week or mid-late next week to get volatility into it. And yet I only need this to kick up in volatility from an IV of 9-10% to, an IV of 20% for this to gain value in the option. So I'm considering a long straddle on SPYs as more of a medium-term play, a couple weeks out on this one here. So that's the first thing I'm looking at. Lulu, I traded this earlier and I had the right idea, but the wrong direction. So Lulu, as we all know, gangster earnings, totally gangster earnings, beat like their estimates by over 40%, increased Q3 sales and guidance and everything like that. And, the market, the options market was projecting about a 6% move going into the earnings, like, okay, 6% up or down or something like that. Historically, it's only had about 5% move up or down. The stock went from 380 to 433. It's a $50 gain. That's like a 13% move in 20 minutes. Now, prior to this, if you had asked me where did I see resistance from an option positioning perspective, I would have said 400. I said, before, any gangster earnings, I would have said 400 is resistance. I think Lulu has overshot. And, if you think about it, it's such gangster earnings. Volume is super elevated at, what is that, 5x, roughly, 4 or 5x. You could see the huge volume spike. So the volume's there. People are trading the shares, but the stock isn't going anywhere. And I talked about this with my members. I feel like that because it shot so far out and option dealers weren't positioned, they weren't making positions in the aftermarket, that when the market opened up, a lot of these calls were like 8 delta, 10 delta. And the lower the delta, the less hedging requirements that dealers have to make in taking those positions. When I look at the short-term options in Lulu, keep in mind Lulu prior to today had only about 140,000 options out there. Today alone, it's done 186,000 options. It's more than doubled the entire options in the universe in one day. Now, of 186,000 options, how much of that are short dated? When I look at that, you're talking over 60, 70,000. So a third of the options today alone are dated tomorrow. And they're way heavier on the call side. And so right now, the biggest strike in terms of calls, 450s. Whoever bought those long 450 calls, they are smoking something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Lulu's not getting to 450 by the end of the week. There's just no way. There's not enough fuel. There's not enough, dealer hedging required on this. If anything, I think Lulu's overshot and is going to roll over. I tried to long the puts. I got stopped out. I'm going to wait for a rebounce, and then I'm going to long the puts again. I'd like this to pull back into VWAP. I think this is going to roll over. Where do I think it's going to roll over to? I think we're rolling over to about weekly VWAP around 417. So at least another $6. If I can get the bounce, then I can get a $10 move on this, and I'll do 1 week out options, September 17th expiry, so I don't get chewed up in theta. Because the theta if I get the options expiring tomorrow, theta is going to crush it. I'm going to lose $2, $3 per day just holding it overnight. Instead, I'll get 1 week out. I'll only lose 40, 50 cents overnight. And then I'd like to catch a $10 drop. And ideally, I close this out tomorrow, so I only take 1 day of theta exposure on this one. But I think Lulu's going to fade a little bit. Do I think it's going to fade all the way back to 400? No, not by tomorrow. Could it by next week? Possibly. If we pumped in this much volume today and it's not gaining on the day, that tells me that it overshot. And so I look at that and I look at Lulu. I think it's a fade. So that's my second play. Third play on the books. I have 2 ways of looking at Novavax right now. I am medium and long-term bullish, full disclosure. I have options and stock in Novavax. I feel like if Novavax can get to 250, then I'm looking to do a leap option on it. Normally, technically, leaps are 1 year out or longer. And I look at anything that's about 6 months out as generally a leap. So I am interested in getting the January long 260s. If we get a pullback to 250, 251, the day lows basically. If we get that pullback, I'm looking to get long 260s, and then I'm looking to sell the 300s. So that would be long here and selling the 300 calls. So it's a bull call spread. And I would get max payout if we close at 300 or higher. Why am I buying the 260s if it goes down to 250s? Because the 260s will be cheaper because they'll be further out of the money. That reduces my intro cost basis and gives me a better payout basically on this. The other option, I'm looking at Novavax. And again, I'm just bullish on Novavax. I think Novavax closes somewhere between 290 plus, maybe even up to 320. I think Novavax, come here, weekly chart. What are you doing? I think Novavax closes, in this range or higher at the end of the year. I've been saying this for a while, especially to my members. Novavax signed a deal in the EU and UK. That was for about a couple 100 million doses. Shortly after, they signed one for Canada. That was for about 50 million doses. And I said, look, they're going to start signing more deals. They're still waiting on technicalities and FDA approval in the US, but that's not going to stop them from signing other deals. What was reported on the Benzinga Pro app just the other day, they signed a deal with Japan for another 150 million doses. You're going to see more and more of this. We now have the Mu variant coming out, and a hospital administrator that I talked to 2 weeks ago said we are anticipating at least 3 new variants. That was 2 weeks ago, and yesterday they announced the Mu variant. So variants are going to continue. They anticipated in their hospital, their data is saying they anticipate that COVID is going to be endemic through all of 2022. Okay, if that's the case, vaccines are going to do well, and we're going to need more than just 3 vaccines in the US, and globally we're going to need more than 3 vaccines. So Novavax comes in at the 4th slot. They have a lot of market share to capture. A lot of countries will start acquiring doses for them. That's bullish Novavax. So that's why I think Novavax closes above 290, maybe even 330. If we're lucky, 350, 360. With that being said, my second play on Novavax is if Novavax rises up to this 270, 275 before hitting 250, then I'm going to sell a ratio spread. A ratio spread is where I would get long 1x amount of calls. So that can be 1 call, 10 calls, 100 calls. And then I'm going to sell double the amount of those calls further out of the money. So I would probably do the 270 and maybe 300 or 310. So that means I'd be selling 2x the amount of calls. Because I am short more calls than long calls, this means that I will have to put margin out. But if it's priced right, I can actually collect a premium on this. And the way it works out is here's your option payout and here's your break even. This would be like the 270s right here. Whatever my top strike is, let's say it's a 305, that's the top of the tent. It's because I'm selling double the amount of calls there. If Novavax keeps going in price, eventually I'll hit a break-even point and start to lose money on this. So technically I have open-ended risk, but you can neutralize that by getting long shares or long calls if it rises higher, somewhere between 305 and whatever the break-even would be. And so the reason why I would do that is because I think if Novavax goes here first, before hitting here, I think it pulls back. And that would mean that I'm selling those calls further out of the money at their best price. And if it does pull back, then I will make money on those short calls because they will lose value, close them out, and then be long calls at my lower strike. And then I can resell calls later on if I want to. So it's a little more complex way to do it. There's like multiple chess moves in this, but that's what I'm thinking. If Novavax goes up first before hitting 250, I sell a ratio spread. If it goes down first, I get long a bull call spread. I think Novavax closes above 290 by the end of the year, maybe even 300, 330 plus. I'm very bullish on Novavax. And I lost the music and I lost everybody else.
Wait, how'd you lose the music?
I'm not hearing any.
Wait, there was music previously?
There it is. It's back. It's back.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, the DJ had to go to the bathroom. It's understandable. So DJs do have to go to the bathroom. It does happen.
Just like everyone else. Okay, so Novavax.
Super bullish on Novavax. I got it in my long-term portfolio. I got it on short-term, medium-term trades. You know, if Novavax closes, if I throw on this ratio spread or bull call spread and Novavax closes like 300 plus, just from the options, I'm looking at like a $90 credit. Like it's an insane amount of credit. That alone would make several months of profit right there. So I'm very bullish on Novavax towards the end of the year. In terms of 2022, who knows? Maybe I'll hold it longer, but yeah, I'm very bullish on Novavax.
Lots of conviction there, guys. Are you ready for tickers from chat?
Yes.
Okay. I'll add your thing back to the stream. Guys, tickers from chat. We got one. I mean, okay, Lonnie, thanks for the 5. Dono. What do you think about AQST as a swing play for their FDA run-up date on of December? Analysts saying 20 to 30 by the end of the year with all strong buys.
AQST. Okay, don't have a whole lot of options data on this one here. Does it even have options? Very little. This is a tiny, tiny minnow in the options universe. Today alone, 343 options. It only has monthly expiries. So I have virtually no options data on this. From an options perspective, it's hard for me to analyze it. But let's use my chart skills. Did SPY start to bounce? Yeah, it's starting to bounce. Shoot, I might have to take a live trade while I'm on this darn show. I told everybody today, I'm like, look, 449 is the bottom in SPYs for today. And I want to get long. And then I'm on the show and I want to be trading it. So anyways,
feel free. Do what you need to do. The people love it.
I know. It's kind of hard to concentrate in price and do all this at the same time. So yeah. I'll just have to hope that SPY gives me a second shot. Okay, AQST. What are you thinking on this one here? You're thinking what was I'm looking for the quote on that AQST in the chat.
Okay, it's up here. So there's an FDA run-up date of December. Analysts targeting 2030. 20 to 30.
It seems like a very big stretch. Seems like a very big stretch. Like it would need an absolutely gangster positive news catalyst. So let's look at this on the volume is there. I mean, 600K 10-day volume is not great. 300K today. Today, there's no institutional interest in it. If it was, it wouldn't be a 300K volume stock. This thing has definitely attracted a lot of attention. You see the volume profile, and I don't mean like volume profile, but you see the profile of the volume structure increase massively in early 2020, but it's gone absolutely nowhere. And, when I look at that, and I even see volume declining. So when I look at that, I don't see institutions piling into this yet. Even if they've just recently announced today or recently, I don't know when the analyst announced was. Let's see what Benzinga Pro app says. Yeah. Okay. So when I look at that, I don't see institutions piling into this right now. Could I see institutions piling into this if we clear $10? Possibly, but I'm not seeing it yet. It's definitely not happening today. It's definitely not happening over the last few months. If it was, we wouldn't see volume continuing to decline like this, and with the price continuing to decline as well. You would see it supported in some way or another. So institutions aren't keeping their eye on this yet. Analysts made the announcement. They still aren't piling into it yet. $20 to $22. That's the high of this range here. You're going to need some gangster news, to come out and show something really strong, definitive for this to make it $22. I don't see it. Not yet. Could that change? Yes, but right now I'm not seeing it. Options market's not saying that, and the stock market's not saying that as of right now. That's just what I'm seeing. Okay, can I just rapid fire on these questions here?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Scott Harrison, given your position on Novavax, what are your thoughts on SRNE? I haven't really traded SRNE a whole lot. I don't even know I traded it this year, so I don't have a view on their product per se. But let's take a look at and see what the options world is saying about them. And then let's see. So total options in the universe on this is roughly 500,000. That's solid. It's not gangster, but it's solid. That means there is interest. And we have about 20% of those options. So roughly 100,000 options rolling off next Friday, which is the monthly UpX. Today alone, there's very few options on it. 6,000. So not even 1%, a little over 1.2% of the options. Today, nobody's touching this right now. Volume's below average. We're at almost the middle of the day or past the middle of the day. So on a today perspective, nobody's looking at an SRNE from an institutional perspective. They're not looking at it from the options market. It just hasn't shown the ability to sustain gains. It rips and fades, finds a decent base, holds here for a couple months, rips for a couple weeks, and then fades back and stays underwater for months. So I don't know the fundamentals or the tech of this company or anything like that. But the flows, I'm not seeing it from an institutional standpoint. You can see volume, again, decreasing. And so options are saying meh. Volumes are saying meh. I'm not seeing institutions jump in on this one. So that's my thoughts on that one. Multiple COVID treatments and vaccines in the works. Yeah, I think that's potential. But, Novavax, they've had COVID treatments in the works for a while, and their stock has continually been bid up. And I think there's a reason for that. So, yeah. Okay. What about Enphase? Traded Enphase not too long ago. Haven't in a few weeks. Let's take a look at Enphase. And let's see what the option universe is saying about you. Not a big option volume, maybe 180,000 options out there. And not a whole lot, maybe 10, 15% rolling off this Friday. So we don't have a whole lot rolling off. Very few options today, only 7,000. So not many options at all. When I look at Enphase, I look at, let me show you a 4-hour, what I'm seeing. I think Enphase, here, let's look at the structure. So we clearly have a base, 155, 160. Well, look what happened here. We had resistance, false break above it, impulsive selling below it, trying to regain, and then just impulsive selling down to the base. Now look at this bounce and this bounce, and then look at this one. And it just got stuck. And that tells me that it's running out of steam at support. Do I think it could bounce there? Possibly, but I wouldn't expect this bounce to get above 180. And when the bounces get weaker and produce lower highs, that tells me that institutional interest is waning on that particular stock. So maybe a short-term play here for, $10, $15 bounce, but I'm becoming less and less convinced on a short-term basis. I also, from an options universe, when I look at this, I see between 170 and 175 being pretty stacked in terms of resistance. I see dealers basically saying, yeah, once you get to about 175, we no longer have any hedging requirements to buy this stock. We can start unloading our positions. So that means it rolls up there. Dealers start unwinding their positions. It takes the fuel out and it pulls back. Where do I see support? I see first support maybe around 150, maybe. But on a short term, like today, tomorrow, next few days, I'm not really seeing it. The level's good. I'd like to see a transition there. Okay, we're doing rapid fire right now. Who else? Go Knights. Good man. Snow. I'm long Snow. I like Snow. I think Snow is probably going to start to pull back a little bit, but I'm bullish on Snow. About 250,000 options out there in the universe. We do have some short-term options rolling off. So I see Snow building up maybe 330, maybe 340. I don't see it getting past 350 by the OpEx. And then I see Snow pulling back because you got 20+% of the options rolling off. That's going to take some of the fuel out of the market. A lot of these were short-dated options that came in and that are coming out fast. They're going to be monetized. So where would I like to consider getting long Snow again? 300. I think we get it on another $10, $20, and then it pulls back. Maybe 310, but 300. But this is This is a bullish stock to me. It's supported. I like it. I think you have to look at a long bias on this one here. Snow is way too high. I agree, but I still think it's got room to go more. Not much more, but I like it as a bullish play right now. Too high. That's relative. Too high on a short-term basis, medium-term basis, long-term basis. It's a relative comment. And as long as the order flow is continuing to buy it, it doesn't matter if it's too high. It has more room to run. So you really have to look at that statement in context. Okay, what else we got here? I've never been too high. What do you think about the new project that I have, cross-chain NFT, cross-chain call, Mindy Swap? I haven't really had a time to analyze that technology or anything like that, so hard for me to say at this point. Path. Somebody wanted to look at Path. Okay. About 100,000 options out there in the universe. Whoa. 60+% of them are rolling off next Friday. That's going to create a massive headwind going into the Friday OpEx. I'm not surprised that it's rolling over. The market has more calls out there than puts by about a favor of 2-to-1. That doesn't mean it's all long calls. They can be short calls. Let's see what's happening today alone. This is something that only has monthly OpEx. So it's not a huge 28,000 today, and the stock only has about 100,000 out there. So 28% of the options were created today. We've added 28% of the options to the option universe today. How many of that are short dated? About another 15,000. So this thing is going to lose more of its bullish fuel as it heads into next week. I think any pops in this should be sold. I think a pop to 58, 59, 60, 59, 60, I think that's a sell. If you happen to get up to 64, sell it or long puts. I think it's a fade. Yeah, you could short, a bull call spread. You could actually sell a bear call spread, and yeah, or you can just get long puts on a good enough pullback. FY Mitches, if we can go a couple minutes past, I love it. Extra time. We got extra innings here today, so let's see what else is on deck. Dwayne, where can I track what options are falling off each week? So all option data, open interest, and everything like that comes from Oprah. They send out all the data. You could subscribe to their feed. There's a cost for it. You have to sign a contract, licensing, all that. Then you have to collate all that data. The other option is that you can look at the Thinkorswim. They will show you what kind of options are rolling off. Like, for example, you just go into Thinkorswim, you look at the option chain, you can see what's rolling off for next week. You can see how many options there are in the universe, and then it'll show you, hey, here's how many options are today. They're expiring by next week. So the easy answer, the cheap, free answer is Thinkorswim. If you got hundreds and hundreds of dollars to spend each month, then you can check out Oprah as a potential play. Okay. What else do we have? I don't want to really do crypto because this is about options and I don't have data on crypto options. So QS. QuantumScape. That's such a cool name. All right. Let's see what QS has got to say. What do you guys say for yourself? Okay, it's a decent option stock. 550,000 options out there. We have a lot rolling off. We have a lot rolling off tomorrow. So prior to today, we had 25% of that 550,000 rolling off tomorrow. How many options did we add today according to the Thinkorswim platform? Not many, 26,000. So that would put another 5% if they were all short term, but another 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. So yeah, we have basically, what is that? We have about 115,000 options rolling off tomorrow. That's going to create a headwind. I think this stock is supported between 20 and 19. I think resistance comes in around. I would probably fade this. If this happens to pop up to here by today or tomorrow, I'd fade this. I would fade that. Tight stops above 25, maybe 26. Next week, I would probably fade it a little bit higher, but short term it's supported. I would be open to buying this between 20 and 19. I'd be looking to sell this between 24 and 26. So yeah, that's a good spot. All right. Do we have time for one more? We got one more minute or no? You make the call.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. Square. The opposite symbol of QS. Very interesting. 900 plus thousand options out there. Not a whole lot rolling off, 12, 13%. I think Square is becoming a buy, but let me see what's going on in today's options. What are you saying about today? So today alone, remember we had 900,000. Today alone, we had about 84,000. So almost 10% of the options today. How much of that is short dated? Decent chunk. About 30,000 options. So yeah, 3% are rolling off tomorrow. There's definitely some short-term plays on this. But let's look at the 17th. Yeah. Okay. So I like Square. I think between 240 and 250, I think it's a decent buy. Would I just automatically buy if we get to 250 or 240? No. What I'd want to do on, say, the 1 hour chart is I'd like to see a transition in this kind of, what is this, 240 to 250 range. I'd like to see the price action get in here and show me a transition. I'm not seeing that right now. What am I seeing? Impulsive, corrective, impulsive, tight corrective structure, rejected at VWAP today, and the corrective structure is at the bottom. That tells me today, tomorrow, the next most likely direction is lower. So I'm still expecting this to head a little bit lower. What I'd like to see is maybe an impulsive move down, but instead of a corrective structure at the bottom, we see a corrective structure at the middle. That would be a transition. That would mean that the lows were rejected and it was bid up that level. I'd also like to start to see impulsive moves to the upside and building higher bases. So I'd like to see transitions on the 1 hour between 240 and 250, but then I think there is option positioning and support for Square to be a long. So I like Square, but I need to see a transition in this zone before getting long. This is a good spot. Okay, is it time or do I still got more? I can keep rolling.
Producer AB, you tell us.
We have time for one more. We'll do one more.
We've already covered Square, JMIA, prior meme stock of last year.
Jamia.
Let's take a look. About 400,000 options in the universe. I think resistance. I think this is a good fade at 22. We only have about 15% of the options rolling off. Yeah, maybe 15% rolling off next Friday. So we don't have to worry about a whole lot. And today, not a whole lot of options. So not a whole lot of activity today. Yeah, I like this on a fade. I say fade it between 21.65 and 22.06. Tight stops above. And then I would target 20.5, maybe 2019 or something like that. Yeah, I really like selling this at the closer we get to 23, the better this becomes a sell. And 23, yeah, it's pretty thick. So between here and here is a sell, in my opinion. Wait for a pullback into this range here. Look for a little bit of transition, then fade it.
Beautiful.
Okay. Is that the end of the show?
I'm trying to get word from the guys that are running our next show. It looks like they haven't.
Going.
It looks
Joe
like they
Rogan
haven't gone live yet.
Okay. Well, let's
Keep going, Chris.
DKNG. I have changed my view on DKNG. This year I was neutral. Over the last few weeks, I've become bullish on it, but I haven't traded yet. So DKNG has close to 40% of the options rolling off. That would be this Friday. And today alone, we had 169,000 options. That's huge. DKNG had about 1 million options prior to today. So we've added 16% of the options today alone. The put call ratio is insane. 0.1. That basically means for every 100 options out there, 90 of them were calls, 10 were puts. Super call heavy. So how much of this is going to roll over tomorrow? 20, 60, about 55, 60,000. That's another 5.5%. So we're now looking at 42% of the options rolling off tomorrow. Then I look at the 17th. There's really thick support at 60. Really thick. Okay, I like DKNG. I like buying at 60. So 60, 60 and a quarter. We get a pullback there. I like getting long DKNG. Football season starting. That's going to help a lot. You're going to get a lot of more user engagement for that. I like it. I would probably take a 61 to 60, maybe almost a 70 bull call spread. We're a 70. Yeah, I think we could retag the all-time highs by the end of the year. But I like doing a little bit of a pullback, getting long 61, going for about a 70. So that's what I'm seeing on that one. Very, very good stock, in my opinion. AB, you got the call.
All right. I got one final stock for us to go through. You may have heard the company. It's a big one. Facebook Inc.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually what Facebook is called. Facebook Inc. It is indeed.
Okay.
Ticker FB.
Let's do this. So, Facebook, 2 million options out there in the universe. Today alone, 200,000, 10%. That's strong. Anytime the day's option volume is equivalent to 10% or more of the total options universe, that's strong. Traders are making lots of plays on this. What I see on Facebook is roughly 15% of the options rolling off on the 17th. Let's see how many we've added to that. Ooh, 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe 55,000. So another 2.5%. So we're talking about 17, 18, 19% of the options rolling off next week. That will create a little bit of a headwind going into next weekend's OPEX. So when I look at this, I see resistance. The structure looks good, but I think the higher this goes next week, the deeper the pullback towards Thursday, Friday next week. On a long-term basis, where would I like to get long? I have to be bullish on Facebook on a long-term basis. I think your base is right here. I think this is the area to get long. So this is kind of the 360 to 353 range. Do I think we can get a pullback there? Possibly. We may stop at 365. Where do I think Facebook is going to close the end of the year? I think it probably closes above 400. As long as no new antitrust lawsuits come out, and they've done a great job of throwing lobbying dollars on that. Also, an antitrust lawsuit have gone quiet. I think as long as there's no antitrust issues or no major privacy security issues, then I think Facebook has the potential to close 400 on the year. So if you get a pullback into 360 or 350, that's a great, play for January OPEX or something like that. It's a great location. Hold it for 4, 5, 6 months, and it should generate a nice profit on this one here. So short term, I'm a little questionable on it. I see resistance up ahead, but medium term, long term, have to be bullish on it. AB,
Beautiful.
You keep making the call.
Dude,
I
AB,
like
just
Facebook
tell us
here.
when the show's over.
Definitely could.
How much time do we have?
Oh, we should wrap it up.
All right,
awesome.
Chris, thank you so much for being with us on the show.
Good.
For folks that enjoyed your financial stylings, where can they find more?
Check us out at secondskies.com. That is our new URL, and it already points to our website. It launches in about a week from now. Also, come to the Benzinga Bootcamp this weekend. I'm going to talk about long-term trading and investing, and not just mentioning how to do it, but why you should be doing it. And again, I'm not saying it should be the only game in town. It should be one of the quivers in your kind of, it should be one of the arrows in your quiver, basically. It's super important that you learn this skill. Being actually a good long-term investor actually helps with short-term trading. It helps in wiring the brain to not just be so chasing after the short-term gains, but also thinking long-term steps. So super important. I'll see you for that. And just check us out on our website, secondskies.com.
There you go, Chris. Thanks so much for being with us today. And I will see you on Saturday.
Sounds good. See you then.
All right, guys. Chris Capre, Second Skies. Make sure you're checking them out. YouTube, Twitter. They've got a lot of good content there for you. And then if you want more, definitely join us this Saturday, starting at 8:30 a.m. 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Detroit/New York time. For the Benzinga Bootcamp, day of turning boys into men, turning women into expert traders with the ability to make confident decisions, knowing their surroundings and knowing strategies that they can fall back on. So come one, come all levels of experience are welcome. It's going to be an awesome day. It's always fun. And it's always very edifying, which means educational. So this is the story of a girl. Blah, blah, blah. This has been the Thursday edition of Get Technical. Wait, is the music playing? Can you hear it?
No, I can't. Wait, let's do
Here's
this.
my emails.
Now we can hear it.
All right. Yep. So thanks so much for joining us. I'm Neal Hamilton. With me, as always, has been producer AB in the closet at an Olive Garden. And thank you guys for being very participatory in the chat. Second Skies Forex, Second Skies Stocks. Producer AB will drop. There it is. There you go. That's the link, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and get on over to benzingabootcamp.com to join us for the full day of Zero to Hero training education. I hope to see you there. I will be there all day hosting for you. So thank you guys and happy trading.
And coming up right now, we have the roadmap. If you're interested in NFTs, check out Chris Capre talking about NFTs starting right now. The roadmap. Do not go anywhere. Smash the like if you haven't already. Peace.